This is a screenshot of the Amazon homepage that I took from my phone, and this is a Flutter app that I have coded with an app bar similar to what I have seen on the Amazon homepage. These icons launch dummy pages, and this search bar also launches a dummy search results page. Let's code this app bar from scratch. We're going to create a new project for this demonstration. I'll go to the File Explorer here and open the folder that I have created specifically for this demo. The next thing we'll do, we'll go to this menu here, then open the terminal and then use the flutter create demo_app command to create a new project inside a folder called demo_app. We can see that our project has been created. I'll create a new folder inside this project and I'll call it images. And here's where we're going to put in the image that we're going to use as the logo for our app bar. I'll open this folder in the File Explorer, then I'll go to my collection of images, get the logo image from there and paste it here in this images folder. Next thing now, I'll go to the pubspec.yaml file, I'll scroll down to the assets section and comment this code here and remove some of this code so that we remain with only a line that points to this new images folder. This / here explains to the YAML file that this is a folder and not an image. I have also added this .vs code folder here with this settings.json file, mostly to keep the IntelliSense pop-ups from showing up as I write the code. Let's now go over to the main.dat file and start writing our code. The first thing I'll do is to set the device here to Chrome so that later on we're able to run this app on the browser. Next, I'll change the title of this app. I'll remove this theme from this material app because I do not need it. And I will remove the comments in this code as well, and some of the code also, so that we remain with only a blank scaffold. Inside the scaffold of this app is where we're going to have the Amazon inspired app bar. We will create it inside the app bar property of the scaffold. Here we'll create an app bar widget and we will assign it a background color, which I'm going to use a hex value to define so that we get that dark gray, dark blue sort of color that is in the original Amazon app bar. I'm going to split this app bar into two parts. We'll have this top part or this top section and this bottom section. So I'll start with this top section where I'm going to put in this icon for the menu, this image for the logo, the sign-in text, this icon for the account or sign-in page, as well as this cart logo. So let's start with the top section. I'll start by defining the leading width and I'll set it to 40 pixels, which is smaller than the default value for the app bar. And the reason is I want the menu icon to be closer to the edge of the page. Next, I'll define the menu button and I will put it inside the leading property. And for this, we're going to use an icon button whose icon will be the menu icon. When we press the menu button, we want it to show the menu page. And for this, I will need to create a function. It will return void. I will call it show full page dialog and it will take a string argument, which I'll call page title. And the reason for giving it an argument is I want to use the same function for the other icons as well. So I want to create just one function that will serve all the icons. So inside this function, we're going to use a show dialog function where the context will be set to context and the builder will be a function that takes the context as an argument. This builder method will return a dialog.fullScreen widget. The child of this dialog will be a column with two children. The first being an align widget whose alignment property will be set to top right, and its child will be an icon button whose icon will be the close icon, and when pressed, this icon button will call the pop method of the navigator so that we're able to close this dialog. The second child will be a center widget whose child will be a text widget that displays the page title argument that was passed into this function, and we will give it a text style to set the font size to 20. We'll call this show full page dialog method inside the onPressed property of the menu icon button, and we'll pass in menu page as the argument. Let's move on to the logo image. We're going to put it inside the title property of the app bar, and we will wrap it inside an inkwell widget so that we're able to click on it. The ontap property of the inkwell widget will be a function that calls the show full page dialog function that we just created, and we're going to pass in a string that says TFC for the TheFlutterCoach homepage as the argument. The child of this inkwell will be a sized box whose height we will set to 25 pixels, and the child of this sized box will be an image.asset widget, and we are going to pass the path to our logo image to this widget. We are going to define the icons on the far right of the app bar inside the actions property of the app bar. We'll start with the sign-in text. We'll wrap it inside an inkwell widget so that we're able to click on it. The child of this inkwell will be an align widget, We're going to set the alignment to center so that our text will be vertically centered in the space available, and the child of this align widget will be a text widget, and the text inside the text widget will be a string that says sign in with a forward arrow at the end. The on-top property of the inkwell will call the show full page dialog function, and inside it we're going to pass the sign-in/account page string as an argument. Next, we will have the account icon. For this, we will use the icon button widget. Its icon will be the person_outline icon, and when pressed, we will call the show full page dialog, and we will pass the sign-in/account page string as the argument. After this, we will have the cart icon, where again we will use an icon button. Its icon will be the shopping_cart_outlined icon, and when pressed, we will call the show full page dialog and pass the string cart page as the argument. We're done with the top section of the app bar. Let's now move on to the bottom section. We will put this inside the bottom property of the app bar, and for this we're going to use a preferred size widget. We will set the preferred size to a height of 40 pixels, and in here is where we will have our search bar. The child of this preferred size widget will be a container. We will give it an all-round margin of 10 pixels so that we're able to see the dark blue background color of the app bar all around our search bar. We will give this container a height of 30 pixels and a width which will be the screen width minus 20 pixels, so that regardless the width of the screen or the width of the window, the space between the sides of the search bar and the edges of the window remain the same. We'll also give this container a box decoration where we'll give it a border radius of 5 pixels and we will set its color to white. The child of this container will be a row with two children, the search text field and the search icon. For the search text field, we will use an expanded widget whose child will be a text form field widget, and we will give this text form field an input decoration where we're going to set the hint text to search TFC. We will need to access the user's input in this text form field for the dummy search function. So we'll need to create a text editing controller, which we will call search controller, and we will set it as the controller of this text form field. For the search icon, we will create a container widget whose height and width will both be 30 pixels. We will give this container a box decoration where we will set the color to a shade of orange that is similar to that of Amazon, which we're going to define using a hex value, and we will also use this box decoration to give this container a border radius of 5 pixels. The child of this container will be an icon button whose icon will be the search icon, and in the onPressed property we will call the show full page dialog function, and as its argument we are going to pass a string that says search results for, then the text value of the search controller. We're done writing the code for this app. So let's go to this menu and go to the run option, start debugging, so that we build this app to check out what it looks like and also to see how the icons in our app bar behave when we click on them. Our app has now been built. So let me close this panel here. Let me also close this widget inspector tab as well as this debug console, and then zoom in a little bit on our app window here so that we can have a good look at our app. Let me also pull up this image reference so that we can have a good comparison between the two. On the top left, we have the menu icon. When I click on it, it takes us to the dummy menu page. Next to it, we have the image that serves as our logo, and when I click on it, it takes us to the TFC homepage. Next to that, we have the sign-in text, which when I click on it, takes us to the sign-in or account page. After that, we have the icon for the account, and when I click on that, it takes us to the sign-in/account page. After that, we have the icon on the far right for cart, and when I click on that, it takes us to the cart page. Below these icons, we have our search bar. Our hint text says search TFC, and when I type something in the search bar, such as random Flutter course, and click on the search icon, then it takes us to the page for search results for random Flutter course. So that's how you build an Amazon-inspired app bar in Flutter. If you have enjoyed this video and found value in it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it useful as well. And if you haven't already, you're very much welcome to subscribe to this channel with the notifications turned on so that you get notified every time I upload a new video.